Whoo. Let's see here. Well, we are live. And before anybody else says anything, I just want to remind everyone that a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
Drop that wonderful intro.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe.
Yeah, baby, welcome. He's distracted. You get distracted by shiny things or young children, I think, over there, huh?
That sounds really weird. But
oh, yeah, that's right. It does sound really weird.
But yeah, the same. What you been drinking over there already?
I got a little red wine going. What about
yes,
you?
I get distracted by my kids. That is true.
Yeah.
I do.
Not small children. That's pretty bad.
Speaking of, I got some Jack Daniel's Down Home Punch, and it's delicious.
Oh, check that out. That is wonderful. And I just want to say hello to everybody in the chat.
Not even ashamed.
No, not at all. That's fine. Amanda and no. I don't know what I said, man. This is my second cup. Amanda is in the chat. Thank you for joining us, Amanda. And Backyard TARDIS, Nicholas Schaefer, two of our wonderful patrons. And who else is in there? Charlie Skywalker. Charlie's over here too somewhere. He's doing jumping double duty, but want to be able to bring in. There's a lot of people in the green room here on the Red5Live, and we should. I think we're gonna have a lot of fun, man, because that's just what we're gonna do tonight. What do you think, Brad?
Yeah, we talked about this a couple of days ago. It's been a rough week for the fandom, and everybody normally cool with each other. Even at on ends or at ends this week. With all the news and stuff like that. So we're like, we need to geek it out. So let's geek it out this weekend, get everybody together. First, it's going to be a Scare Fly. They're like, nah. And there's Rose said, let's get all Red 5 together.
Let's get everybody
a Red 5
in.
night. And
yeah, absolutely. Yep.
So
I mean, not only a rough time for the fandom, but a little rough time for some of us Red 5ers too. So we definitely needed to get loose in the caboose and get things going. But let's bring some people out. First of all, it looks like we got some Gold Squadron members up in the house here. And one of my favorite couples, favorite podcasters are here. And let's bring them in. Do you know who I'm talking about, Brad?
No, I have no clue. I just work here.
I just push buttons. Let's bring in Coruscant Radio Underground, Andrew and Marisha. Hello.
Hey, what's going on?
I only like half of them. So that doesn't count.
Only half of them are likable.
I think they're all likable. How's it going?
Going good.
Pretty good.
Hey, I like that T-shirt.
Yeah, I thought you might. We just recorded our first video episode.
Oh yeah,
about 30 minutes ago. Yeah.
Adventure.
Excellent. So, what is this another Pillars or Mount Rushmore? It
No,
seems like
we're moving our MCU reaction show that we started, the Monday show, to video.
Oh, very nice.
Trying something different.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
That's what all the cool kids do. So, had to
definitely.
Yeah.
And you guys are easy on the eyes, so I think the video is a very, very good idea there.
Oh, too sweet. Yeah, Iana came and she says, "Oh, Mommy, you look pretty." Translation: this is the first time Mommy's put on makeup like since quarantine.
Yeah. I've been wearing the same pajamas for probably since April.
Yeah, I mean, that's valid.
Let's see who else we got in the green room. Let's bring in another Gold Squadron member, Mr. Charlie, Red 4. Charlie, how's it going? Oh, and little baby Yoda.
Charlie, oh.
How's it going, everyone?
What's going on, Charlie?
As little as humanly possible.
I hope you're doing well, Charlie. How's the family?
Yeah, everyone's doing well. Kids are kind of excited because we're supposed to get snow, maybe about 7 inches or so.
Yeah.
And for the Roswell area, that is far and few between. So definitely going to be some cold temperatures and hopefully some snow.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody's getting snow, even Texas. I'll bring Kev out in a minute. He'll talk to us about they're shutting down the town down there, man.
Oh, they're shutting yeah. I mean, it's going to be 7 degrees in Mississippi, and it's like no one goes to work because all the roads are closed.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
I think that's funny. And speaking of Kev, let's bring him in because he's in the back staying hydrated.
Yeah, man.
What's up, man?
Yeah, man. You cannot go into a live stream dehydrated. That you're asking to pull a hamstring, okay?
That
I'm just trying to stay prepared.
It's fair.
It's the end times down here, man.
Yeah, public service announcement brought to you by Red 5. Absolutely.
Right. Jack Frost has come to Texas, and we can't kick him out.
We don't like it.
No.
We don't like it here.
No.
Look at Amanda showing off with her 81 degrees.
Hey, be careful. That was me last week. I was like, well, it's 82 degrees here and it's beautiful and we've been outside. Yeah, well, now it's going to be 9 degrees on Monday and I'm eating crow. So
yeah,
absolutely.
You never can tell.
Yeah, I got snippy in the Red 5 chat not too long ago. Rose showed like a picture of this like beautiful snowy vista that was Chicago, and I just showed him the sun. And yeah, you know, you reap what you sow, I suppose.
I suppose, yeah. And the thing is, they still get to gloat over us whenever it's 105 degrees here.
Yeah. They have these things called seasons. I hear they're lovely.
That's what I hear. Although I'm not sure that I would trade this out here right now for 3 months out of the year for what they call seasons. Just saying.
Absolutely. This has completely destroyed any thought I had of moving up north ever. No. If anything, I'm going further south.
Absolutely. We got 5 seasons here in Chicago. We got winter, we got fall, we got summer, we got spring, and we got construction. That is all the seasons.
Yeah, living in a growing city, I can relate.
Yeah. Where are you in Houston?
San Antonio.
San Antonio. Okay, yeah. It's Beaumont. You know, there's always construction in Beaumont.
Yeah, worst stretch of I-10 I ever drove was through Beaumont.
Yeah, and it's been that way for 30 years, so that's fun.
Yeah, it's nothing if not consistent.
Yes.
So I wanted to bring in one of our newest members of Red 5, and it's just amazing how wonderful the growth of the network is. And, you know, obviously loosely, I loosely say network, obviously, but, we just love, kind of hanging out with people and then just kind of bringing them in on the family. And I know Brandy was here earlier, but her internet was a little shaky. But let's bring in the Escape Pod. What's up?
How we doing?
We're doing fantastic. Welcome to Red 5 Live.
We really appreciate being brought into the family, and we're happy to be here tonight.
Absolutely. Yeah, let's bring in the rest of the people in the back area here. Well, I like that shirt. Check that out.
How's it going?
Pretty good. And then we wouldn't be a Red 5 Live without Adam. What's up, Adam?
You sure about that?
I
thought I was going to be the favorite couple, me and both of my personalities.
Absolutely. Welcome all.
Thank you.
We got a nice panel going here.
That's right. It's a full room.
So I wanted to. It's too bad that Brandy wasn't here because I know Brad and I really wanted to talk about sex and the Jedi.
We can still talk about that, Ro.
The most riveting discussion of the week.
I'm just saying. We can still have that discussion.
You know, how crazy is it that that's the least divisive thing that happened in Star Wars this week?
If there's one thing that's going to bring many disparate groups of people together, it's bumping uglies.
That's true.
And you throw Jedi on top of it, I mean, who's not game for that?
Absolutely. So I know Brad just finished the book. No, he didn't finish it. I think he's halfway through. He's a quick reader. He just left the stream. I think his internet was a little wonky as well. But I have not started the book, but I know he had posted a couple of entries, a couple of pages regarding that little dilemma. And what's the name of the book? Remind me. It's a Claudia Gray. Charlie's going to get it.
Jedi, isn't it?
No, the second one.
Into the dark.
Into the dark.
Into the dark. Yeah.
I instantly wanted to make an innuendo out of that. I need to stop.
I swear, I'm going to have to make another persona because I'm always seeing things in the chat and I'll come up with this really off-color comeback. But like that's really off-brand for me. Like I don't say things like that on the internet. So Andrew says you're going to have to make an account for all your off-color clapbacks.
That's all I do. That's all I've got.
So, Charlie, have you finished reading that?
I have not. I'm still on chapter 7. I've kind of been lax this week in my reading, but it's good so far. But yeah, there's a lot of questions so far that seems to plague the prequel and original trilogy. I don't quite get why they're backtracking on some of their ideals.
Yeah, talk a little bit about that. That's very surprising. I think, how we're obviously showed that the Jedi are forbidden from attachments, yet, like Kev says, a little bump and ugly is not going to hurt anybody. But yeah. What's that all about?
Well, it just, and they really haven't gotten into it too terribly bad so far, but they're, at least to me, insinuating that, you're going to have sex regardless, as long as there's no attachments to it, then, it's all fair game. So everyone has urges, got to scratch that itch. And, as long as it doesn't go beyond that, then apparently there's no problem with it. But then when we get to the, prequel trilogy and like, oh, we can't even get married, or what's going to happen if they find out that I'm pregnant, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, it's just kind of odd. I don't understand it. I don't know if they're just going back.
In Claudia Gray's, I don't mean to interrupt you. In Claudia Gray's Master and Apprentice, they had the one guy who was still boning and doing his thing. I'm sorry, I don't know if I could say that, but he was still out there. He was still out there doing his thing. I can't remember his name, but
Rail Averos.
Rail Averos, that's right. He was still doing the thing, and that was slightly before the prequels.
Yeah, and I was going to mention that because Marisha, I remember on one of your guys' shows, you guys were talking about how you have to sometimes pre-read some of the new Star Wars books because the kids get a hold of them, and obviously, that might send up some red flags as far as kiddie friendly.
Like, I mean, adults are entitled to read whatever they want. That's fine, but I do prefer my kids to be able to just read whatever's on my shelf. And sure. I haven't been particularly thrilled to be like, you can't, especially some things, my kids are pretty advanced readers, so I like for them to be able to read Star Wars books because it's their thing. Like, nope, you can't read that one or that one or that one. They're still pretty young. Once they get a little older, it'll be fine. But
How weird is that, though? I mean, you know,
Right?
we're talking. We're also talking about how graphic some of the stuff is, and you know, over at the in the Star Trek world, you know, that series is like really graphic. I mean, like bloody and eyes being popped out, and it's kind of staying away. It's getting away from the family friendly aspect of what, you know, science fiction is when it comes to family viewing and things like that. You know, a while ago too, there was a question: do we need a rated R Star Wars or sci-fi for that matter? And I know there are, but when it's coming from something that has been family friendly from the beginning, it's a little jarring. What do you guys think?
Well, I think it's times are changing, and I mean, just think about what happened. You know, sitcoms and things like that were on regular TV in, say, the late '80s, early '90s. Now, would you know? You wouldn't even see that. That's something you'd catch on, you know, regular, I don't know, 3 o'clock showing. Whereas now at 7 o'clock, they have these, you know, everything is PG-13, PG-14, and it just, what was deemed unacceptable then is now more acceptable. So I think we're really getting into that era of pushing the boundaries, and you know, they're just growing up too fast, and you know, it's just a changing of the times.
Yeah, I'm not a parent, nor am I an authority on this, because I have a really bad habit of talking to children like they're adults. And so I'm just going to bow out of this one. Probably not my arena.
Well, I raised 2 kids, and some people would say that I raised them a little bit too fluent in adulting. But now that they're adults, you know, they're like, yeah, we've been here before.
Yeah, and sometimes, you know, when it comes to kids, and you know, sometimes people say that when you forbid something in the house, it makes it like so tantalizing, and then they go after it no matter what. But if you introduce it, you know, kind of responsibly, then they're like, whatever, it's no big deal. And I guess, you know, some people say that they grow up a little bit more.
Hello?
You know, what do you call it?
Yeah.
Did Grace bring over a unicorn?
I don't know who that is.
Hold on a second, sir.
Now going back to sex and Star Wars specifically, there's a lot of people that think that Episode 1 intimated that Qui-Gon had slept with Shimmy.
I like that headcanon.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people that are like, well, this point of reference and this point of reference definitely suggests that maybe, I mean, a little lightsaber exchange.
Let's just say he was close friends with Rael Averross. I'm just saying. I mean,
true.
Just saying. And I mean, come on, it's Qui-Gon Jinn. Look at me. You think that dude's not like trotting around the galaxy, not slapping cheeks?
Right.
I mean, come on.
I'm actually more interested in Adam's unicorn call.
Yes, can we drill down on that, please?
Yeah, sorry about that. My aunt was live on YouTube, and she doesn't even know about it.
Adam, if you have had a real unicorn this entire time, and you've been holding out on us...
If I had a real unicorn, I wouldn't share it with anybody.
I know. That's too bad.
I bet it's delicious. I'm just saying,
sure.
I bet it sears up nice.
Sure. Sears up nice.
Can you put that in the air
man, only IKEA would know about that.
Okay. Guys.
Yeah?
Oh, is that Scarif Brad?
That's Scarif Brad, yes.
Okay.
Just Brad.
Okay.
Only Brad.
Okay. I got excited there for a minute. I miss my buddy.
Oh, yeah. How's he doing?
He's great, man. He's great. His kid's great.
Yeah.
He is sleep deprived all the time.
Sure. Exactly. I thought when my kid was born, I thought I was going to have a nervous breakdown. 5-minute sleep. He would wake up every 7 minutes. I'm like, I can't do it. But it's really, really cool.
Yeah. I mean, I got the chance to actually to meet the young lass a couple weeks back. She's a great kid. I'm super stoked for him. I'm super stoked for him. He's my best friend, and I'm happy for him. There, I said it.
That's awesome.
I'm trying not to be super awkward with my emotions, but I'm failing.
Come on, man. We're all family here.
You think no sleep with one is bad? Try twins.
Yeah.
Hard pass. Hard pass.
Twins seems horrible.
It's a lot of fun, really.
Oh god. Oh god.
I love my children, but the experience of having and raising children, not my favorite thing.
Yeah. I mean, which actually kind of like brings the whole Jedi not having attachments things into perspective. I mean, can you imagine raising a bunch of force sensitive kids? Like, imagine a force sensitive 2-year-old. Like the destruction.
Oh man.
Sounds like the Incredibles movie.
Yes. That's why. You know what? That's exactly why. That's why.
Yeah, you get the Maximoff twins.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh god, that show.
There's trouble. There's trouble. Speaking of Maximoff twins, are you guys caught up? I haven't seen last Friday's episode yet.
It's good.
I should.
It's good.
Log off and go watch it. It's amazing.
Yeah.
I
But,
watched
talk
it before
about.
this.
Oh, I should have.
That show
then
just
we
keeps
could've-
delivering, man. That show is.
Way to ruin the vibe, Ro.
You know, what do you tell friends? Because I've got friends that say, "Hey, you know, the previews initially were like, what the hell is this? But should I start watching it? Like, what do you tell your friends?"
I would
Don't
tell
let
them
the
like
first 2 episodes throw you off.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
After the first 2 episodes, it starts blowing your mind. You're like, this is it. This is for me.
Yeah.
I
and
say
it's
you
like-
got to get to episode 4.
Yes, because like I always tell them, like it's a little off-putting at first, but like the stuff that feels like the MCU hits around episode 4, and it's like a warm blanket because you didn't realize how much you actually missed the MCU.
That's what I thought last week when when she went outside of the town and confronted the characters in the. But I definitely thought the same thing. I'm like, oh my god, that's right. This is an MCU, and it felt kind of familiar,
right?
And it was really great to see her, and in the Avengers environment.
Right.
I'm really digging the chemistry that they're both having in this show, even in the first couple of episodes. But they're really fantastic.
I was enamored with those first couple episodes. I mean, they were different, but they had that enough weird to keep me interested, But man, this show just for me, it keeps getting better. And like even I think there was a little bit this past episode. It's the Halloween episode, and there's a little bit of creepy, weird stuff going on. But I dug every bit of that. I thought it was crazy. The theories going around are so much fun to talk about. It's got everything for me.
Yeah. I couldn't agree more, man.
Go ahead, Kevin. Sorry.
Well, like the thing is, like a lot of people talked about how like the MCU was like, oh god, it's the same movie, and like this was like a big part of the discourse. How it all felt the same, and it kind of had this like sterility to it because of that. But then you go without it for a year. And then it hits you with WandaVision, and then you realize, like, no, this stuff worked for a reason. Yeah. Like, this stuff worked for a reason, and it's on full display with the show while doing something entirely different. Like, what is Kevin Feige snorting, and where can I get some?
And I think that's what I liked so much about those first couple episodes is that they were so different, and I love those. I love that 50s and 60s TV vibe because they've nailed every decade that they have hit so far, and it's been so good. And like what I was going to say just a little bit ago is that Wanda and Vision on their own before this were never characters that I was. Like they were characters I liked, but they weren't characters that I was like invested in, And so having their own show initially, I was like, I don't know about this, but I mean, I'll check it out. But I'm all in. I'm all in.
and that's the genius of the MCU. I mean, when they started with the Marvel Cinematic Universe, they picked who did they pick? Iron Man.
The B team, right?
It's like what? You're going to start with Iron Man?
And then they went further down that list with Guardians, and everything that they've done with all of these characters, they've
absolutely Absolutely.
You know, they've brought them to the public conscience, and the public has really just jumped on it. You know,
Absolutely.
I've had no stock in neither Guardians of the Galaxy or Wanda and Vision, and those have been my biggest surprise and my two favorite things coming out of Marvel.
Yeah, agreed. Guardians for me is my favorite of the Marvel franchises so far. You know, that they've done in the MCU. I love Guardians, and to be perfectly honest, it's kind of like for sci-fi. Guardians is kind of almost neck and neck sometimes with Star Wars now. How I feel about that.
Yeah,
it has some
very well.
some similar vibes in it, and I love it.
Yeah, I mean, like who would have guessed we would have given half a crap about Ant-Man?
Right.
Oh yeah,
Right?
yeah, right.
Yeah.
That,
Or the
I mean,
gun-toting raccoon. I mean, even though that sounds awesome now,
Dude.
like I mean, like
A talking tree and a gun-toting raccoon.
Right.
Right. Like that reminds me of the first con I ever went to here in San Antonio. There was a guy selling his comic wares, and he had the first appearance of Rocket Raccoon. It was the first appearance comic, and he told me that overnight, because of Guardians, that comic went from nearly worthless to like worth $800-900. You know,
Wow.
just like that.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's insane the amount of reach this has had and the exposure it has given to comic books. Like, I mean, how many people are going to go to a comic book store because of these films? How many comic book stores will be open 10 years from now because of these films?
Right.
You know, like you could talk all the mess you want about the MCU. You can pick and pull and whatever you want to do. But like at the end of the day, that's the thing that matters.
Yeah, and that's what I posted that a while ago. I said, you know, do whatever you want, you know, talk all the shit about the MCU, but the one thing that they're doing right is being able to connect these films. I mean, that's a monumental task. And speaking of storytelling, I wanted to get your take on what do you guys think? Do you guys think that this type of storytelling would benefit Star Wars in the long run, especially now that Star Wars is on the small screen with streaming? Andrew, obviously you're a big MCU fan. You're a big Star Wars fan. What do you think about that? I mean, this is a really a different way of telling a story, and it's kind of a slow burn, I want to say, because, you know, the first two episodes were like, what is going on? But, you know, it really packs a punch later on. What do you think? You're muted.
Okay, now I'm not. So the whole thing with kind of premium streaming television is I mean, I love it. It's something in between. It's not really TV. It's like telling a movie, but only giving it to us in pieces. Or really, I mean, like something like WandaVision. It's like a trilogy of movies. I'm hearing that the last 3 episodes are an hour each, which means we're only halfway in.
Mm-hmm.
So that long format storytelling, I mean, you can tell stories in so much more detail.
Yeah.
But the premium, the streaming services give you the ability to do it with near cinematic quality production levels. And it's, I mean, I think that for a lot of things, it's the future of storytelling on the screen.
I think they're like new age comic books.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Damn good way of putting it. Damn good way of putting it. I mean, this is like, it's like waiting for the next issue to drop. It's waiting for New Comic Book Wednesday. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's honestly, you know, the more we get exposed to shows like this or The Mandalorian and things that are long form, how long until we go to a 2.5 hour movie and we're just sitting there like that's it? That's all you got?
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
or I mean, because like, what's one of the more common complaints about movies and storytelling is like, oh, well, they didn't really flush this out. They didn't really do this. With long form storytelling like series, you've got that chance. You can stretch it out. You can really dig into certain things.
Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me if this is where that the industry at writ large is actually inching towards.
This is one of the things I've been preaching since the first season of Mandalorian. I think it's the future of Star Wars storytelling, just to get away from Marvel. But I really think, because like you said, you can really let stuff breathe and open up and really flesh a lot of different things out, open it up to new avenues, you know, get get a side-by-side series going like we've got coming out with the Rangers of the Republic and all that stuff going. So I really think Star Wars, that's the future of storytelling. I mean,
agree.
I still think we're going to get our movies and sagas here and there, but I think the future going forward is just going to be your Disney Plus series.
Well,
I
and
would
I
agree.
think I think what the series do is elevate what you can do with a movie.
Yeah.
Because you can fill in all the details ahead of time with a series. And
That's
then
a good
give us
point.
You
big
just go
movie.
big
So
with
I think this just elevates the whole thing.
Yeah.
Hey,
and sorry, go ahead.
Real fast, I'll interrupt for half a second. Kev, I got a present for you for Valentine's Day.
You got a present for me?
Yeah,
Oh boy. I wonder what it could be.
it's Force Losers bread.
Hey! The prodigal son returns.
What's up?
Hey, Brad.
Up here, Daddy.
Hey. Oh god. What year is it?
Yes. How was Jumanji?
I'm still in it. What are you talking about?
The drums.
I'm almost out of coffee.
But yeah, sorry. The future of storytelling. It's kind of a unique era to be living in. You know, obviously, storytelling and movies and film has, it's been around for a really long time. Now we've got, streaming services. Everybody and their grandmother is releasing a streaming service, and we've got some new content. This is what, we were kind of waiting for, maybe some of us in the 90s when George Lucas was trying to get Star Wars on the small screen, with the advent of, him playing around with technology and being at the forefront of entertainment. You had things like the Young Indiana Jones Chronicles, where, he claimed that was kind of his testing ground for the prequel trilogy as far as technology. So it's really cool to see now how the advent of that technology, everything that we've learned from those shows from the past, are really taking an impact, especially with the advent of the volume that the Mandalorian uses. I do see some limitations, and I think, seeing some of the behind the scenes of Andor and that massive set and location that they are building, it doesn't seem like they're using a lot of the volume for that, because it's almost like they built a whole town if you see some of that behind the scenes stuff. So I'm really glad when they released that sizzle reel, I'm really glad to see them treating this like a movie almost, because it's really great.
That's that Disney money, baby. That's
Absolutely.
that Disney money. They're drowning in it, baby.
And I don't know if I don't know if this has been touched upon before, but man, that sizzle reel for me personally made me want the Cassian Andor series so much more.
Hell yeah.
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 Hell yeah.
I-
It's
I'm-
James
I-
Bond in
I
space.
stayed at the same level. I was like,
I mean, like it's if they do like a Jason Bourne in space, yeah. Hell yeah. I'm all in. I mean, that's kind of like what I'm stoked about the Bad Batch for, is that, like, yeah, it's animated, but it's like the Bad Batch played on all of the best 80s action movie Delta Force special forces tropes.
Yes.
And I was so there for it. I was like, this is Predator in Star Wars. Yes.
It reminded me of like G.I. Joe meets Star Wars cartoons.
Exactly.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Exactly.
And who was it in the chat that just started watching all the cartoons, all the animated stuff? Was that any one of you guys?
Brandy and Ashley.
No, besides Brandy and Ashley, yes. But there was somebody else that said that they really didn't watch cartoons because they always thought it was for kids.
That was Don. That was the guy right here.
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, for somebody that's been watching the Clone Wars from the beginning, I mean, it really has some really deep storylines. I remember once years ago when the show first started, my son and I used to watch it, but then sometimes I'd watch it again. And I remember, sneaking out to the living room, putting the headset on, and laying on the couch and popping it on. My wife comes out and says, "What are you watching, cartoons at like midnight?" I'm like, "It's Star Wars, baby." But it's a different animal, obviously. But obviously, since we know that Dave Filoni was behind that, I think talk about future of storytelling. I think they're going to continue with that and the Bad Batch and everything else that's coming out.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I
Well,
mean, I
my
just I
big-
think. Go ahead,
Go
buddy.
ahead.
No, you go.
My big mistake was to watch like the first like 5-10 episodes of Clone Wars and go, this is a kid's show. And then I backed away. You know what I mean? Like I was like, this ain't for me. But once you get into like season 3 and stuff, it starts growing up real fast.
Oh yeah, and that's I guess that happened to Rebels too. I mean, it was a very kiddie show, but that's how that's the Star Wars drug. They pull you in like that,
Right?
There's an interview with Filoni that basically said kind of the same thing regarding, that show grows with the audience, and as the audience grows, the storytelling gets a little bit more complex and complicated and more important to the characters. So that's really good. We have a question from Amanda, which I'll pop up on screen. Do we think that Pedro Pascal will have a smaller role in Mandalorian season 3 due to first priority with The Last of Us, the gaming movie that he was just announced to play? What do you guys think?
No.
No.
Okay, next question.
Like I mean, like okay, like no,
with the way that they've pushed Book of Boba forward and delayed season 3, it gives Pedro Pascal a lot more leeway as far as his filming schedule. They could definitely do The Last of Us, which has already been in works for years. They've already had this whole thing set up. They're just looking for the right time to do it. He definitely has time to film this and then go back in and do Mandalorian season 3.
Well, let's be honest.
Go ahead.
They can stick him in. They can stick a stunt double in a suit and dub the voiceover later. They don't actually need him there.
That's true. That's true. I mean, if there's a handful of scenes where he's got to be in the armor, then all right, you just shoot that later.
Yeah.
Well,
that's
I
the
think
great thing
there's
about
the
the volume.
intentionality there with the scheduling.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like that's the kind of speculative stuff that oh God, it bothers me because it's like what purpose does that information serve? Like, what do we care about his schedule? Like, all we care about is like whether we're getting the stuff. Like, just give us we don't need to know all this stuff. Like, it's like tabloid BS. It's like, did you know he signed an agreement with it? I'm like, oh my God. It's like the professional class of commentators that are like talking about on-set rumors on their show. Like, well, did you hear? Like, no one cares, dude. No one cares.
That's how we get what happened earlier this week. A whole bunch of people giving a shit about something that's none of their fucking business.
Who cares? Who cares? Who cares?
What are you talking about? What happened?
Nothing. Nothing at all happened.
Nothing happened.
It was
Pedro got a hangnail.
Yes, he got a hangnail. It was breaking news. He's fine though. He's fine. He's fine.
Doctor's on set.
Yep. And then they had a podiatrist there, and then someone came by and filed that down. Great day on set, wherever he's filming, whatever. Yeah, there's your news.
Excellent. Let's talk Star Wars collectibles, or actually any other collectibles. A while ago, I did a Scarif podcast with the boys over at Holochronicles, and if you guys know them, they are really great guys talking about Star Wars collectibles and things like that. I talked to him, and we talked to Steve Sansweet about every Star Wars collectible has a story, and I wanted to go across the room and really ask you guys, one, what your favorite Star Wars collectible is, and two, is there a collectible that you guys have that has like a really personal story, something that is attached to your history or anything like that? I know Andrew was looking at all his wonderful things on the back.
Yeah, that dude was like, "Oh, whoa.
Yeah. Where do I start?" He says. But
We've been rearranging. I was seeing what's back there.
I can go.
Yeah, go for it, Big Love.
I love collecting anything and everything Stormtroopers, man. When it comes to Star Wars stuff, if it's got a stormtrooper on it, if it's a figure of a stormtrooper, if it's on a T-shirt, that's my jam. I'm gonna grab that. I'm gonna tell the wife, "Hey, give me that." There it is. Yeah.
I hear you. I hear you. I hear you.
So, stormtroopers is what it is. Yeah, I love it. I love it. Yes, stormtroopers is what it is for me. So, I can't say I have one that's more important than all. I love the little gifts my kids give me that are stormtrooper related or Star Wars related. They're not necessarily stormtrooper related, just any gift my kids give me. I'm a sucker.
Something about the classic Stormtrooper, and I know we posted a while ago which Stormtrooper version or variant is your favorite. And, you know, people obviously had the Sith Troopers from the sequel trilogy, the Rogue One Troopers, and obviously our favorite, the Scarif Troopers, the Shore Troopers. But there's something about the classic Stormtroopers that are really cool. I don't know what it is about it. And obviously it is tied to nostalgia. It is tied to the fact that, you know, they were, you know, the first thing that you see, you know, in right before Darth Vader comes out in that one scene that we all love, obviously. Yeah. So it's really cool. Who else has a favorite collectible?
I got one. I have a sweatshirt that's got at Walker's and stuff. It's a Christmas one. Me and my friend, well, Brady's friend as well, that passed away a couple of years ago, went out shopping and bought these matching sweatshirts that we wore to our work's holiday Christmas party. Got a bunch of pictures of us wearing them and stuff. So it's still hanging up in my closet. I need to get it framed because, you know, it's just one of the few things I've got that are directly related to him.
Nice.
He's kind of the reason why me and Brady are here doing this show now.
Oh, really?
You know, it was all like, our friendships with this guy led up to like us going to Celebration together and et cetera, and doing a podcast with some other friends of ours. And then now we're here doing this.
That's cool. Which Celebration was it?
Last one in Chicago.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
It was awesome. It was my first con of any sort. And it was one of the greatest. It was one of the greatest experiences of my life.
If you're going to pop your buddy's cherry, that's the way to do it, right?
Absolutely. Many a cherry have been popped here in Chicago.
Yes.
I'm jelly. I'm jelly. Okay, I got one. So
go for it.
When I was a kid, and I probably talked about this before, so if this is redundant, get over it. In 1995, they had like the Power of the Force line toys. And you only had two lightsabers. You had Vader and Luke's from Return of the Jedi. And I had both, but I primarily went after Luke's, right? And I would spend hours bandying this thing about outside. And then a few years ago, I was at a flea market here in town, and there's a thing with old toy collectors and stuff. And there was one of those lightsabers, right? Yeah, just sitting on the shelf. And I was like, my jaw just unfolded on the floor. Guy sold it to me for $20, and this is like, if the house is on fire, I'm probably grabbing this and my dragon dagger because I'm an adult. But my favorite thing, and I don't know if it's going to translate well over the microphone, but it still sounds like it did in 95, and it's awful, but it has that, like, it doesn't sound like a lightsaber. It sounds like an explosion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or a 1977 Ford Pinto that's trying to start.
Yeah, exactly. It sounds like a complete catastrophe. It does not sound like a lightsaber, but that every time I hit that button, I'm thrown right back to that time. That's my favorite Star Wars collectible.
I love it.
And that's a great way of putting it too. The one thing, if your house is burning, the one thing that you'd go back and grab, and I've got two of those, but I see Andrew playing with a helmet. What is he gonna? Oh, very nice.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's awesome.
So, yeah, this is not mine. This is one I painted for my daughter, my youngest daughter, and at Celebration Orlando, Tia Sakar, we got Tia Sakar to sign.
Oh, that's awesome. That is sweet.
Nice.
Very nice. So it wouldn't fit your head.
I mean,
Do it.
Outside helmet.
dope.
So yeah, it goes on, but it's
It
not.
won't come off.
That's about as far as it's going to go.
Okay, can you just imagine like a line of just a line of Mandalorian standing at attention at the very end? It's just one guy who can't get his bucket all the way on. That's the Gomer Pyle of the group right there.
That's awesome.
Oh, nice.
What else we got, guys?
I don't know if you guys saw it when I had it on just a few minutes ago. I painted this one in U of M colors so I can wear it to the games.
Oh, nice.
I got to get a couple of Block M logos to put on the side, but this is custom garbage artwork.
Charlie with the squadron helmet.
Yeah, that's dope. That Inferno Squadron?
Yeah.
Yeah, boy.
That's sweet. That's sweet.
All right, Brad, what about you?
Oh, hell. I mean, I left all my collectibles in Missouri when I moved out to Texas. I would have to say, though, the most memorable one I have is I still have the there's that machine that Qui-Gon puts Anakin's blood in to read his midichlorians, and it came with the chips.
The lady shaver?
It was a lady shaver.
That's how we got in with Shmee.
Oh, God. Yeah. Hey, Brad. But when you bought the figurines, it came with those chips, and you put it in that little device, and you hit the button, and it plays a sound or something. I still have, I have young Anakin, Qui-Gon, and young Obi-Wan's.
That's awesome.
I've got a bunch of those, but I don't actually have the player.
Yeah.
But the funny thing about those was they released them before the movie, and there were spoilers on those things.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I have that. It's in my closet, like right now. I have that. So you got your readers, I got the machine. Let's do this. Let's party. We're gonna have a Red 5 sleepover.
We just couple that with the barbecue.
Yeah. I'm bringing it to ScarifCon. That's it. I'm bringing it to ScarifCon.
Yeah. So, Brad, we were just going around the room talking about our the collectibles that we would grab if our house was on fire.
Well, first of all, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, great. Yeah, and those readers were a trip. You know, lots of spoilers, like Anakin saying "wizard," and really stereotypical things from Boss Nass. Maybe we're being friends, and you know, really bad stuff with Jar Jar and all the rest of them. So
that's pretty good, Brad.
Yeah. Sound quality was about as good as Kevin's lightsaber.
Yeah. Dude, Darth Maul had.
My name is Anakin.
Dude, Darth Maul had more lines on that reader than he did in the movie.
In the movie, yeah, right.
Yep.
That's okay. Sam Witwer rectified that. Good.
Yes, he did.
He said rectal. So yeah, all the Black Series, and then all the Funko Pops, and the giant Yoda, and I'm gonna die in the fire. Is what it comes down to.
I know, right? Exactly.
Like Captain going down with the Titanic. Just keep playing, guys.
Yeah, so, I'm dying in the fire too, because I'm not even grabbing collectibles. I'm grabbing my computer, and it weighs like 50 pounds. Yes, it's all good.
Well, I'm not grabbing this piece of shit. This thing can burn, so I'm just grabbing the Star Wars stuff.
Oh yeah, Brad can't go far without the mothership. There's too much sensitive information on there.
Oh, that's
All
just
my collectibles
the
are in
hard drive.
studio now.
That's just this.
Oh, is that where all my OnlyFans information is stored?
Yes.
Thank you. We need the backups, man. We need the backups.
Brad and I hide all those files in the cloud.
It's not very private. Trust me.
/Scarif. That's right.
There you go.
Promo Beach Balls to get 10% off.
Right, there you go.
Hold on, I gotta subscribe.
We accept more than just singles.
Yeah. I'll take change. I'll take different currencies. I can get it exchanged.
Republic credits are no good here.
No, they are. They're absolutely accepted.
Absolutely accepted.
The mortgage has got to get paid, Charlie.
Did we miss anybody on the collectibles? Everybody had their collectibles.
Yeah.
And by the way, thank you very much for picking up that Red 5 T-shirt in the background there, Big Lovin'. That looks great.
No problem.
And I got another design that is waiting in the wings. My buddy that does our Sentry Mode out in Vegas, the voiceover, designed a little Sentry Mode T-shirt for us, so we'll get that one out too.
Nice.
But,
Hey, bro, I got
it. Oh, excellent!
Oh, wow.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Nice.
This thing's awesome.
And where can I get these shirts, guys?
T-Public.
T-Public. All right.
T-Public, look for Scarif. Scarif podcast on T-Public. But we have, I haven't gone into maintenance mode on there, but we will, if you guys have a T-Public store, send me a link in the DM, and then I will put that on our store as an affiliate. I can kind of spread the love, and whenever our store has a sale, that means you guys have a sale too.
Yeah, nice. Because I'm really bad at like peddling my wares. I'm really bad at it. I'm like not a great salesman. Like buy it or don't. I don't care.
He's a great salesman for other people's stuff.
Yeah, no, I'll promo the hell out of your stuff. But like when it comes to my things, I'm like, yeah, get a shirt or not, I don't care. That's an awesome design, man. That's a bitchin' design.
And here's one that kind of.
Where are you getting those made at, Ro?
I'll tell you in a second. Here's Luke in an X-wing.
Sick.
And I had to get this.
Oh, of course.
In the bottom.
Nice.
Of course.
So our friend John Rodriguez, look him up on Twitter. He is Jar of Comics, and I think if you go to his website and then you type in, I forgot what it was, type something in, and you get 50% off anything on his website. Yeah, I forgot. But we posted that a while ago. He did a little something. If you want, I can ask him. But he really great prints. He does conventions. He does artist alleys whenever it's safe for us to go back in the convention circuit. But pretty good stuff. I love Star Wars art.
Take a second there to talk about how awesome artist alleys are, and
hell yeah,
that's my favorite part of cons.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like dude, I mean, like it would blow my mind walking around those areas because I'm like, dude, like these guys are so talented, like they're just so stupid talented, like, and I feel immediately guilty because I'm like, I wish I had FU money, like just money that I could just throw at you, like FU, give me a print, Yeah. I wish I had that because I would buy something from everybody because, like, I mean, that would be my home's wallpaper, would just be all of that amazing art.
Absolutely. There's so much stuff. Amanda is talking about how she's got one of her prints that we a while ago we had sent out a whole bunch of AT-ATs from his, and I've got mine over there. Let me show you guys. And I still have 3 or 4. I might pop in a Scarif contest.
Giving stuff away. Free thing.
100%. I'd much rather spend my money. Yes. That's pretty.
Oh, man.
Oh. It's like Letterkenny when they get surprised by something. Oh.
That's gorgeous.
Man.
Well, you have my address.
Yeah, he's a great artist. I love his stuff, and he does, a lot more than just Star Wars stuff. He does, Marvel stuff. He's got a comic book that he's self-publishing. I think issue 2 is in the works. Really talented guy, really nice guy too. He was actually also commissioned by the movie studio that did Dark Fate, Terminator Dark Fate, and he did a promotional piece that was in downtown Chicago. It was on the side of a building, which was really cool.
Calm down, Kev. Calm down.
You got to work on a Terminator movie. That's awesome. That's awesome. Instant cool points. Forever cool. You get to touch a Terminator movie. You're in good with me for life. You are a made man.
You got to register for the sex offenders list if you touch a Terminator movie.
Don't care. You're still in. We can smudge that on the paperwork. No problem. No problem.
I'd much rather spend my money, like we were saying, in Artist Alley than, getting some signature from some random celebrity somewhere. If I'm going to take money to a con, it all ends up being spent in Artist Alley.
Yeah, they really have some really great artists, really great talent, and obviously, it's a really great cause. I mean, we've interviewed a couple of artists on the Scarif show, interacted with them. Obviously, when we do the Scarif Con, we do it at a comic book store, and lots of artists come by there and check things out. I wish, like Kev was saying, I wish I had a lot more extra money to kind of throw at these guys because they are super talented, man.
Yeah,
definitely.
It's like going to a show, like a smaller show where it's local bands playing and they've got some merch, and like you want to chuck them $10 for the T-shirt because like that pays for their studio space, that pays for that stuff. It helps keep them going, And I really like supporting creative people. Like there's a special sense of fulfillment that you get from like supporting somebody who poured their blood, sweat, and tears into something. And, I need to be richer, like much richer.
Yeah. I always tell my wife, I said, I would be a really bad millionaire because I'd spend it in like a second. I'd like call up my friends. Hey, you want a couple bucks? Yeah, sure. Okay, fine. Come on over. Let's go party.
Yep.
At Andrew's house.
If we party at Andrew's house, I am 100% absconding with that shield.
It's awesome, isn't it? Yeah. Speaking of artist alleys, that's one that he snagged at a con at an artist alley. Of course, now we have kids who go in there like, I want all the artwork. So yeah, like
get a job, kids.
Yeah, you could spend $50 at the con. They're like, okay, how many pictures can I buy for that?
Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
I have a pretty substantial collection of OG Transformers.
Oh, nice.
And I used to have them all up on the shelves. And my little guy at the time, now he's 18 years old, but at the time he was a little guy. He used to sneak into my office, get up on the chair, and then on the desk, and he'd start playing with my Transformers. I bet you he broke $600-700 worth of Transformers over a couple of years. So watch that shield because somebody's going to play with it.
Are you paying attention, Brad?
Yeah. I'll get her hooked on video games first. That way she has something to play with.
Attaboy.
Yeah, it's not as successful as you'd think. They'll still go after all the stuff.
I can dream. I dream of that and more coffee. I could always use more coffee.
Yes, always more coffee. But it's fun when you get to dress them up, and show them off to all your nerd friends. Be like, look what I made. It's cute.
Oh, once you can fit in it, I have a dragon onesie that she's gonna be wearing every time I play D&D.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Props. That's the real reason you have children. You have props.
Mm-hmm.
So a while ago, I posted up a question regarding having people send us some Scarif Tatooine hot takes, and one of the questions I posed was, how do you see the Jedi, or how would you like to see the Jedi in 100 years or so, or maybe 1,000 years from the point that Rey Skywalker is introduced? What are some of the things that you would like to see the Jedi, I don't know, transform into, or how would you see the Jedi different? Maybe 1,000 years in the future. What do you guys think?
I'm going to let someone else take this because my mind's going to some bad places.
And I know we had, I think Brandy and their crew, they were talking about how, since we were talking about Jedi and sex, they were talking about how, maybe attachments, 1,000 years in the future, attachments would be okay for Jedi. Something like that, maybe changing the rules a little bit as far as the attachment scenario goes. But Brad, you were listening or reading the book, and I know we talked about how the Jedi are portrayed in Light of the Jedi. They're a little bit more godlike, you were saying, a little bit more powerful. There seems to be kind of a change in dynamic once we get to the even the prequels. But What do you think about Jedi changing in 1,000 years?
Well, I mean, if they even exist in 1,000 years, I think there'd be less trouble for the galaxy probably if they didn't exist. I'm just going to say that.
What are you the Bendu now?
Well, yeah. Screw all these wars, man. Endless wars. But yeah, I mean, it's really weird the direction that they're going in right now. They can have all the casual sex they want, but if they, no serious relationship, that's bad. So it's really weird. I feel like they're taking these latest books. I feel like they're taking the Jedi off their moral high ground that they had. We used to, when Obi-Wan first talked about them in episode 4, he put them on such a high pedestal. And they were just they were role models for all of us to try to emulate. But now it's really weird. They seem to be hypocritical in a lot of areas. They seem to be doing a lot of mental gymnastics to back up some of their principles. So I'm not too keen on where they're going right now, as far as allowing what things they allow and what things they forbid. And there seems to be double standards out the wazoo right now.
I think the natural progression from this point, I don't know if it's what they'll do, but I think the natural progression is to see different schools rise up within the Jedi. So that instead of one central group in one location like Coruscant, you see temples with various beliefs spread around the galaxy.
Yeah. I mean, maybe they could actually develop attachments if they had more emotional intelligence. If they weren't so leery of the impact their emotions have on their ability to wield the Force, if they were a little more prescient about what those emotions actually mean, maybe they could have attachments. Maybe it couldn't be a huge problem for them. Me just spitballing.
My impression is that this line of stories is going to lead up to a point where there's some kind of fall with the Jedis in this timeline, and they get to the point where they're like, "Oh, we need rules for this shit, or it's all going to go to pot," and that's why we get the more strict code under Yoda later on.
Could be.
Good point.
Yeah.
Could be.
My thought was that if they, say 1,000 years in the future, everyone's a Force user, right? There's, the Jedi would maybe be, up to, if they keep on with this M count thing, M counts of so high or above that, basically everybody can use the Force to some sort of extent. And the Jedi are just, have a higher concentration of it. And, it has to be more defined rather than, just, hey, you can come join our order and have the numbers be as inflated as it was. That was my initial thought anyway. It could probably use some refining.
Hey, Ro, do you want to open up that question to the whole group that we answered from Ollie, or the comment that we answered from Ollie about Grogu?
Sure.
And all right, so I'm going to say chicken nuggets at a wedding, and see if anybody gets that reference. Ollie Sims, one of our top fans, called Baby Yoda / Grogu the chicken nuggets at a wedding, meaning it was Disney's way of apologizing for burning the steak at the wedding, with the steak being the sequel trilogy. Because they burnt the steak, they made chicken nuggets, and everybody loves chicken nuggets. And those chicken nuggets came in the form of Grogu. Basically, added nothing to the story, and he's just there so everybody can eat the chicken nuggets. And he didn't care for Baby Yoda at all. So I just want to know if you guys think that Baby Yoda is indeed the chicken nuggets at the wedding, or whether you actually like Yoda, or Grogu for just being Grogu himself.
First off, him for being Grogu.
Yeah, first off, you said chicken nuggets a lot, and now I'm furiously hungry, and I'm coming for you now. Second.
Too many carbs.
Yeah, oh, God, so good.
How many pre-workouts do you drink a day? I feel like you're on 3 pre-workouts right now.
Man, shut up, man. Get up my stuff, man. Tell me what I'm drinking a lot of
He
pre-workout.
went full JT on you.
Listen,
Let's go, Johnny.
God, how did you sidetrack me that hard? Damn it. I completely lost my point, man. It's boom off in the ether.
Chicken nuggets.
Sometimes it's the cook making the chicken nuggets that makes all the deal in the world.
God, I just really want chicken nuggets now. Give me my nuggies. I don't know, man. I was fine with Grogu as a story plot being like it was like a story of found family. It's very Star Wars. It was Din Djarin kind of opening himself up to be more honorable and to kind of assume that role of a father figure. That to me is the impression I got. It's the same found family theme we get in Star Wars over and over and over and over again. Because it works. It works. That's a formula that works. We can call it formulaic, but it gets us every time.
I think the question supposes that Disney feels bad about the sequels.
No,
I don't think they do.
They got paid. They got paid.
I think they like what they made. Maybe the little bit of issues with what Ryan Johnson did in the middle, but I don't think they're upset about it. I don't think they were making up for anything.
No. I mean, the idea that something that amorphous is like as Disney is Lucasfilm, that they're going to make up for anything. Like, no, they put that out because they were committed to it. When they saw The Last Jedi well before any of us did, and they saw that and said, "Yup, do it, go." So the idea that they would apologize, no. Like it's like if any other studio has a flop, it's like this is a crap movie. Whatever, move on. We're gonna do another one in a week. It's the idea that like Disney's gonna feel remorse, Lucasfilm's gonna feel remorse. They put out the prequels.
Right.
And the one thing though is that we'll never know.
Yeah.
We'll never know one way or the other. And was there a problem? Did they see fans kind of upset? Yeah. We don't know what their expectation was, or we don't know what their final feelings are because we're not in the boardroom. We don't know what's going on.
Exactly.
But they definitely, the Mandalorian definitely brought a lot of fans, closer together for whatever reason, whether you like steak at the wedding or chicken nuggets.
Yeah.
I think Grogu served his purpose.
Yeah. He was a vehicle to drive a part of the story, and he did so very, very well. I still don't think that Disney really anticipated or realized what they had at the time, because it just blew up. Absolutely swept the world as far as popularity. I think that Grogu became the vehicle in which a lot of people jumped into Star Wars that might not have before.
Yeah.
It did a whole lot of good for the series, and I don't think it was all intentional.
Sure. I think that's a good point. I think it's a really good point that like The Mandalorian was the jumping off point for some people. And that's kind of how Star Wars keeps perpetuating itself. Like, the original trilogy kept roping people in for a good 20 some odd years. And then you get the prequels and then a whole new generation of people are roped in. And then it goes kind of bye-bye for a little bit. Clone Wars probably was the jumping off point for a lot of young people. And then on top of that, it just keeps like the sequel trilogy. I mean, that's going to be an entire generation's trilogy. That's going to be their thing. But The Mandalorian probably roped in a wider audience because I think that the sequel trilogy's biggest thing was like, it's back. Star Wars is back. So all the diehards are like, yeah. But The Mandalorian, because it generated so much buzz, like that was one of those water cooler shows where you show up to work and you're like, hey, dude, did you see The Mandalorian? Like, what is the show? That's a different beast altogether. And I would agree with Charlie that they probably didn't know. They knew they had a good story. They probably didn't know what kind of impact it was going to have.
The Mandalorian made my wife go back and watch the original, or well, not the original, all 9 movies in chronological order. She's like, you know what? this is interesting enough that I will go ahead and devote, what is that, 14, 15 hours of movies, maybe even more.
Yeah.
She's like, I'll sit down and literally she watched them one after another over the course of 3 or 4 days. She's like, no, this is a good story.
That's beautiful. Like one of
Hey,
us,
so,
Google Gobble.
I'll keep her.
So I don't want to get into the crap that happened this week. None of us do. But let's say, hypothetically speaking, they can't work things out. The Lucasfilm, the group can't work things out, and Mandalorian is done. They don't make another one. How upset would you guys be at that? In other words, I'll preface this by me saying I think they've told an entire story, or at least they've told one complete arc. So if they were not to make another Mandalorian, how upset would you be, or would you be just satisfied with the experience that we did get from that?
There are definitely story threads that could continue, obviously. But I think you're right. They did tell a really complete story, but, they also introduced new shows that may or may not pick up some of those threads. Obviously, you've got Ahsoka. You've got some of the other shows that were announced. Right. So, like for me personally, I wouldn't be, super upset because we've got some other stuff to kind of look forward to. And, let's see what happens.
I mean, there were always two big threads running through The Mandalorian the first 2 seasons. It's the future of the Jedi and the future of Mandalore.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
They finished half of it, and I think next season is going to deal with the other part.
Yeah, I would agree.
And I think that's part of why Grogu had to kind of move out of the way so they could go tell that other part. Now, beyond there, does, like with the Marvel stuff, they said, well, they're doing Falcon and Winter Soldier. I said, well, there may just be one season of that because next season it could still be the same 2 characters, but next season may be called Captain America and the Winter Soldier.
Right.
And this could very easily, from Mandalorian season 3, evolve same character, a lot of the same characters, but just evolve into something with a new title.
Yeah, we could get a Jedi Academy show.
Yeah, I mean, if that was the direction they went, I would feel very similar to like the Snyder Cut situation. Like you would know that something wasn't finished, something wasn't completed, and it would be one of those like it would just kind of gnaw at you. And I would hope that if that was the case, they would use other shows as a vehicle to kind of complete those threads. That would be one of those really weird, like it would kind of like just irk you for a long time. Like it's great, but they didn't finish it, Yeah. But they did finish the Snyder Cut, and it's coming in a few weeks, and I couldn't be happier.
Right. I see your Batman symbols on the wall there. I'm like, this guy's my friend.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I keep them on just in case it gets a little too hot around here, and he needs to come bail me out. We're buddies. It's no big deal.
I like it.
I've ridden in the Batmobile. It smells like leather and rich mahogany.
All right, guys. I actually do have to get off for the night.
I miss you. I
know. Miss you too, Kevin.
I've only seen like 3 of you guys' shows, and I kind of miss you.
Yeah, right? He's my hetero life mate. We got a Zoom call soon, pal.
Yeah, we definitely do.
Okay.
Thank you, Brad number 2, for joining us.
No, wrong side. Not a problem.
Good night.
There we go.
Take care of that baby.
Oh, yeah. Always.
Later, buddy.
Later, guys.
Later.
Oh, I missed that guy. Anyway, so is anyone else kind of stoked for the Snyder Cut, or is it just me?
Oh, no, dude. I think, and actually, I have not seen any of the Justice League movies. I guess
You're not
there's only
missing
one.
anything.
Yeah, there's
No.
just one Justice League movie, but
Yeah.
Obviously, Man of Steel I loved. Wonder Woman, the first one was great. I didn't get to see the second one, but I know Andre Hutchins is one of our friends. He's really excited about the Snyder Cut. I'm not really into the DC movies because they fall flat for me. But again,
Is this thing supposed to be like 180 out from the original movie? Because if it's not 180 out from the original movie,
No,
I don't want anything
like,
to do with it because it was hot garbage. It was garbage. I'll die on that hill. That was a piece of crap movie.
it was. And look, like
why is everybody so excited about this?
Because Joss Whedon literally reshot like 70% of that film. Literally like 70%, and so much was left on the cutting floor. So like everyone kind of knows that with movies they do an assembly cut, right? When they first shoot it, and the assembly cut could be anywhere from 4 to 6 hours long. It's all raw footage. So they had started assembling the initial cut, which would have been maybe like close to 3 hours, or maybe a little 3 hours over in the studio would obviously say, no, cut this, but this cut of the film is entirely Snyder's vision. This is what he wanted to do from the outset. This was before he had to make any concessions with the studio or editing. This is the thing that he wanted to do. This is nothing like the 2017 dumpster fire that had an exasperated Batman, like, talking about how bad he got hit. Like, oh God. Like, this is literally, if you are an advocate for creators getting to have their vision and really play it out, this is the movie that is that thing, So we're in for something that is completely different from what you saw in the theaters.
Is Justice League the one with a digital mustache?
Yes. They ruined Cavill's handsome face, and that should be impossible.
Isn't that fucking ridiculous?
Yeah, it should be impossible. That man is so handsome. How can you do that to him? He's a dream.
The worst thing about it is all they had to do was come up with a basic dialogue sequence that explains why he has a mustache.
Yeah, when you're a corpse, your hair still grows. Yeah, or like when you're a corpse, your hair still grows, dude.
Sure.
I don't know. I was that kind of Snyder's thing with the DC thing took a little while to grow on me in the way it did, but when it really did, I was like, I really appreciated, the nuance of what he was trying to do and the risks he was taking. He was doing things that are pretty unconventional for comic book characters. He was putting the audience in some pretty rough territory where you had to look at something and really think about why you're reacting to it in a certain way. And that's something that's not that easy to do with comic book films. Let's be real. Sure. Like you give us the whiz bang and we're just okay. Huh.
The thing about
go ahead.
The thing about comic book properties, though, is those of us nerds that sit down and read these books, we're allowed the I guess you want to call it headcanon of interpreting the way these characters exist in their worlds.
Right.
And then somebody comes along with their own headcanon about how this character is going to behave in this world. And then we go to the theater and we go, bro, what did you do to Batman?
Right.
And then, especially when you're talking about a team up movie like these Justice League movies or BVS, you're talking about 4 or 5 of these characters all interacting at the same time. If there's not something that takes you completely out of the theater, like, that's a miracle.
Yeah.
That you're talking MCU stuff at that point. Whatever it is Feige's doing, they need it over on the other side.
Right.
Because what they're doing is they're hitting these characters in such a way that everybody goes, you know what? That hits some of my notes. It's good enough for me.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, well, yeah, and I think that at the time when the DCEU first really kind of kicked off, that was 2013. The MCU had been at it for over 4 years at that point, and every studio was trying to capture that same money-making engine. They wanted a piece of that. And I think, and this is just my reading of it, take it for what it's worth. But I think that, you know, Snyder was working towards something. He had a very specific idea of where he wanted to take this. And maybe initially the studio was on board because they were coming off the Dark Knight trilogy, and that was different for comic book movies at the time. And they were like, all right, well, you know, we followed Chris Nolan down that rabbit hole. Let's follow Zach. But and this goes back to like fan reaction, when some people are like, whoa, I don't know if taking it in this direction is really vibing with me, and there's a little bit of friction there, studios start to panic because they're like, well, that can affect how much money we get at the box office. So no, now we got to do it this way. And there was definitely a hodgepodge, disparate, kind of discordant vibe to the DC EU, and it's still there to some extent, but how you rectify that, I don't know. And that's beyond my pay grade. I'm just stoked that a director got to complete his vision. That is pretty rare in the Hollywood world. That's pretty rare.
Do you guys think that the DCU was waiting for the MCU to kind of flop? Because it did take them a while. It's something that has never been accomplished. You know, I think Marvel movies or superhero movies, for that reason, I think they've tried to really kind of hit that popular thread among the audiences, but it has never gotten to the level it is now, both with audience and actors too, bringing these powerhouse actors into a role for Marvel and for superhero movies. You've got Robert Redford in a superhero movie, these really great actors. I almost felt like when I was watching all the MCUs and then there was nothing from DC, I'm like, what are they waiting for?
I feel like I'm talking too much, but I think the biggest difference in terms of like just the impact of these comic book films and why they're resonating so hard is because I think most of the people involved in crafting them now were fans. I mean, these are people that grew up reading comic books. They were steeped in this culture. Whereas, like, if you guys know the story behind Kevin Smith's failed Superman movie that he was a part of, and the producers involved were trying to get him to do like all kinds of weird stuff, and they obviously had no clue about the actual lore or anything where these characters came from. They had no window into that world, and it just comes off as ludicrous, Right. I think that was the difference. You had a shift in terms of who was involved with these films. Around 2008, Jon Favreau, he's a nerd. He's a geek. He's one of us. He was in that world. He has a different appreciation for it. And then you bring in people that have been stooped in this world, and that's like people who write scripts, and that's the difference. That's why we have the quality we do now. That's why it continues to perpetuate itself.
I had a quick question here from Tim. Hold on a second. Where did it go? So, where did it go?
Something about aspect ratio.
Yeah. Because I know there was some talk in one of the chats that I'm in regarding the aspect ratio of certain movies, and obviously the Snyder Cut is going to have something. I think it's going to have something different. I'm not sure exactly what.
So, but they shot it in 1.85 to 1 ratio, and they're going to release it in 1.66, which I believe, which means that when you watch it, you're going to have a black rectangle on the left and right sides of your screen.
Interesting.
So columns, not up and down.
Right.
I mean, you're going to have black bars this way.
The bars are going to be on the sides, not the top.
That is really weird. What was that?
I'm going to have to tell my wife I need to go get a bigger TV.
Yeah.
Your black bars will be bigger.
That's fine.
He's just looking for an excuse.
I'll push it to 85. She can deal with it.
Yeah. I mean, that's a convenient cover. Like, honey, you have to understand, if I want to watch this movie in the best way possible, I need this TV. You don't understand.
See what I'm saying? I'm going to Best Buy.
It's the wife on this panel. That's not going to fly.
Look, Marissa, we are fully aware. We know. but that doesn't mean that we're not going to try.
Exactly.
If you already have it hung on the wall, she can't say a lot other than just be mad.
Yeah.
It is interesting though, because first of all, Tim, I don't know what you mean by you people, but he's talking about having the screen be almost back to the 4:3 aspect ratio, which is old TV, which doesn't make sense now that everybody and their grandmother has a widescreen, not only in their pocket, but, hanging on their wall somewhere in their home. So it is kind of a weird thing. I don't know why, if he shot it that way, why it's being presented that way for home viewing. It's kind of a weird creative decision. Don't you guys think?
Yeah, I do. I'm not sure I like the idea of the bars on the side. It just anything that I think it's going to be distracting. I don't think it'll take that long to get past it, but I think initially it's going to be a little distracting. Because if I had not been aware it was going to happen when I turned it on, I'd be trying to figure out what the hell was wrong with my TV.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's an odd decision to release it in an aspect ratio different than what they shot it in.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm really wondering why.
I mean, he's kind of a.
Oh, I know why.
nerd.
I know why. Because on the side, there are mustaches that he has to cover.
Oh, thank you,
There it
Joss
is.
Whedon.
There it is.
There's digital mustaches everywhere.
That's kind of scary.
It
That was
actually it kind of
my
makes
band in high school.
digital mustaches.
Everywhere.
Nice. I bet you guys rocked. But it makes sense because Snyder's kind of a photography nerd. He's really into cameras and stuff. So it kind of makes sense that he would throw in some kind of like Artur decision, like I'm gonna do this because F you.
Yeah, but Tim's got another comment here regarding the IMAX screen, but IMAX isn't 4:3. It's widescreen, and then it gets rid of the black bars on top and bottom of your screen, like in the Batman films when that was shot, and some of The Force Awakens was also shot that way. But to go back to bars, what we call pillars in the industry is kind of a weird creative decision. But you're right. He's a camera nerd. He's a technical guy, so. We'll see what happens. There's got to be some sort of rhyme to his reason, so we'll see when it comes here.
I agree.
And hopefully, if it's presented good enough, you're going to start watching. You're not even going to notice them bars are there.
Yeah.
You'd hope.
Yeah, that'll be me.
Does that method get away with the horizontal bars and then just give us vertical and go top to bottom with the screen?
Correct. I think so. Yeah.
Might be 6 of 12, half dozen of the other if you look at it that way.
Yeah. I
don't think it's going to. I think initially you'll look at it and go, "Why is it like that?" And a few minutes in, you're going to forget about it.
Yeah.
You're focusing on the picture, and the more you watch it, you kind of become unaware of the black space.
Yeah. Well, let's be real. I'll be forgetting about those bars for an entirely different reason. We will say no more.
Because you'll be drinking water and being hydrated?
Yes. That's actually it's a little known fact about hydration. Your attention span is more laser focused.
Bro, how much you been drinking? What are you typing down there? That is amazing.
Oh yeah.
You take care, man. Thanks for coming, logistician.
Wow. Yeah. That's bizarre.
I'm sorry, guys. I've been sitting here thinking about Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor and how DC couldn't give the first shit about their movies by casting Eisenberg as Lex Luthor, and I've been stuck on that.
That's the one thing about the original BVS movie that really pissed me off.
Like, just take the dude from Smallville. How hard is that?
Right.
He did
agreed.
fine.
Agreed.
They completely missed the tone of Lex Luthor.
Yeah, I was in for it.
Can they even explain that casting? How do you explain that casting?
I don't know, but if you're going to do it, just go all the way and hire Michael Cera.
No, God, I hate that guy. No. Like I could not. Like, all right, look, Scott Pilgrim versus the World was a very clever movie, very very clever. But every fight scene with Michael Cera was like, that dude is 87 pounds soaking wet. No way.
Scott Pilgrim takes over Metropolis.
Yeah, but I was okay with Jesse Eisenberg. When I see things that are off color,
how are you okay with that?
Because
how are you
let me explain.
Explain yourself, fool.
Because, like, okay, so when you take a character like Lex Luthor and it's different, it's a different take on it. I'm like, all right, well, let me see where you're going with it. I am not necessarily anchored to how a character should be portrayed.
He subverted your expectations. That's
there you go. That's
you know where I'm going with this, Brad.
That's where it was.
Yes, I like that. I like
That's called the Last Jedi syndrome, Kevin.
Yes, I like that. I like it when someone says, like, oh, you think it's going to go this way? Skirt. No, I like that because
different isn't always better.
For me,
there's an archetype for Lex Luthor. He's got an archetype, and they just threw it out the window.
He's essentially Kingpin.
Yeah, but that archetype also exists in the comics. Like, if you want that archetype, it's there. It's there in the animated stuff. It's there. Like,
so those people are your core audience that are going to see the movie. Why would you do that to them?
It's your decision as a creator. Ultimately, that's kind of where
they turned Kingpin into Mark Zuckerberg.
No, you had to go with Mark Zuckerberg. You had to go with
that
route.
Totally.
Exactly,
I can definitely see that.
That's exactly who they modeled that character after. Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah, and God, Mark Zuckerberg. Every time I see that guy, I'm like, no one ever punched you in the face, did they?
Didn't he play Zuckerberg in that movie?
Exactly.
And it shows.
Yeah, but that's kind of what I like about that Lex Luthor is like every time I see him on screen, I'm like, God, I just want to crack you across the jaw. Like I kind of like that, but it's one of those like rage watches. You're just like, you can't look away.
He can't talk to girls because nobody ever beat his ass.
I'm telling you, man, that's a problem. That's a problem. Like I've been hit in the face a couple times. You know, everyone who's got their crap together has been punched in the face.
Until some other dude chips your tooth, you ain't got it.
Yep.
We can tell, Kev.
Yeah, didn't do me any favors for sure.
So Tim's got another question. If the take of a character is so different, then what's the point? And Backyard TARDIS talks about how they did the Mandarin in Iron Man 3, which was really completely. That's probably my least favorite Iron Man because of that. What do you guys think of that?
Yeah, but he wasn't really the Mandarin.
Right.
Right, and we're getting the real Mandarin now. So
yeah.
He was a guy playing the Mandarin.
Yeah. I mean, dude, you got Sir Ben Kingsley in a throwaway role. That's a power move.
Yeah, totally.
Right. That's a power move.
Definitely.
I do love when he's drinking beer towards the end of the movie, though.
Right?
He's like, why are you guys shit?
Right. Like the entire time I was watching those scenes with him drinking beer and like with that Cockney thing, I'm like, this is a revered actor. He has been knighted.
Yeah.
I was like, man, that's a power move, but it was cool. I don't know. I mean, the point of it, I don't know. I'm such an advocate for people who are in positions to do something creative to have license to do what they feel they need to do. I don't know. I'm kind of a pushover when it comes to that, admittedly. So I guess the point would just for people to create. I mean, whether it vibes with everybody,
That's the point of a production company is to make money.
Yeah.
It's not like if you want to be your own artist and do your own thing and don't worry about getting paid, that's one thing. But when you're in a multi-billion-dollar industry, that's your goal in life is to make money, which means personally, I think you got to put some of your own creative thoughts and wishes aside and give people what they want, or at least what they expect. I mean, I guess we're here with Liam Neeson as Ra's al Ghul as well. Yeah, I mean, that was kind of weird casting, if you ask me. But I mean, at least he owned the character, I guess. I can't get the thought process behind Jesse.
Yeah, I mean, I understand the money making aspect of it. I do. And to that point, with as divisive as Jesse Eisenberg is, for example, I mean, Batman v Superman still made over $800 million. That was still
divisive. We all hate him, don't we?
Oh, okay.
I saw it 4 times.
Yeah, like it still made its money. I don't know. I don't know. I should, like I said, I'm kind of a pushover with this because I'm a real advocate for creators being able to kind of have the license to do what they want. You know,
And that's a really interesting point too, because the one thing that comes to mind was the whole Sonic the Hedgehog debacle, where they released the image of I guess the first draft or whatever, and people went nuts. And the creators actually went back and made some tweaks based on the fan backlash. There were some folks that were saying that was kind of unprecedented, and it would set a bad precedent to create these films or projects by committee, for lack of a better word. But at the same time, like Brad was mentioning, this is a business. You're there to make money, not to create art. And there is a fine line. There are some very artsy, great films that make money. But when it comes to these companies, your boss is the investors, the people that are giving you the money to make the money. And I think at the end of the day, that's who you have to cater to. And you also have to cater to the fans who are, opening up their wallets and going to these theaters and going to these shows to go see your product. Because if none of your fans are going to go see it, then at that point, what's the point?
I'm not going to buy a Jesse Eisenberg Lex Luthor Black Series figure because it won't look anything like Lex Luthor.
That's okay.
It'd
I'll
be
buy
too
all of
thin.
them.
You wouldn't be able to see it.
I'll buy all of them for you. No problem. I'll cover them. I got them. It does it actually, but it kind of makes more sense within like the specific to the Sonic example because, Sonic, yeah, it's a beloved franchise. It's got a lot of history, but the money making potential of a Sonic movie is not on par with, Batman, right? Like, so I think with that, when they changed the design, that was a pure example of like, okay, if we don't nail this, that could be $100 million difference in the take home, that makes a little more sense in that regard, plus it's kind of a
matter of they missed the look.
Yeah.
It wasn't the character was wrong. It was you missed the look. You completely whipped on what this is supposed to look like.
Right. So it makes perfect sense in that context.
That's putting Batman in green pants.
Right. And there's the thing too, when we talk about fan service and that terminology, if you're not making these movies for fans, then who the hell are you making them for?
Agreed.
Yeah. I've said it before. What Kevin Smith said about sequels is the minute you make a sequel, you're in the fan service industry. That's what you're in, and you get the right franchise and it'll pay your bills for the rest of your life. We're still coming back for more.
Speaking of which, where's Clerks 3?
Hey, they're working on it.
True.
I hope Kinky Kelly and the Sexy Stutter in it.
That was by far my favorite scene in the entire movie.
I'd have to say the analogy of when he's talking about Lord of the Rings and he made the guy puke because he's dissing Frodo so much. But there's only one return, and that's of the Jedi. We all know that.
I don't know. As a hardcore Tolkien fan, when I was watching that scene, I was like, "Damn you, Kevin Smith! You're cutting to the bone."
Even the trees walked in that movie.
I know he's not wrong. None of his critiques are wrong. It's just like, wow, you're really hitting close to the belt there, Kev.
The one with Jeff sitting there talking about taking the term porch monkey back. Like you can't say that on TV.
Yeah, that's what you have to admire about a guy like Kevin Smith. Like he will, no matter how absurd it is, he's going to execute what he wants to execute, and he'll find a way to do it with as little strings attached as possible. Like Jay and Silent Bob Reboot was the most ridiculous film he's ever made, and I have seen Tusk.
Me and Brady went to was it the Fox Theater in Detroit?
Yeah.
Or the Fillmore.
The Fillmore.
And we saw Kevin Smith and Jay Muse introduce and then talk after Jay and Silent Bob reboot. It was an awesome time. And it's exactly that. Flight of Fancy.
Yeah. Yeah, and the movie's great. Like, I mean, the whole bit with Ben Affleck was just a great, awesome bit of writing. Like, you know, yes, the rest of the trapping of the movie is absurd and played up because it's Jay and Silent Bob, but that little moment just kind of reminds you that, oh no, this guy's got writing chops. Like, this dude can write. You know, even like Red State, when he did Red State, I was like, damn, dude, like that was a ballsy movie. I mean, that dude does not get nearly enough credit as he probably deserves. And I mean, hell, he's probably the reason that I started podcasting. I mean, listening to his podcasts and Dan Carlin's Hardcore History was kind of my window into podcasting, and that's kind of what sparked the fire. So yeah, I mean, Kev Smith for life. Plus, we're fellow Kevs. We have to stick together.
Here's a hot take. He annoys the hell out of me.
No,
we're done.
Yeah,
we're done.
Oh boy.
Yeah, we got to draw the line somewhere.
If I have to see a picture of him with the deer and the headlights look again, I'm gonna.
That is his look. That's what it does.
It's like, dude, didn't you see that coming?
And he always does like the presenting motion. He's always presenting whoever's next to him.
Yeah,
but you can't. Service, bro.
Yeah, I mean, you can't fault the guy's enthusiasm, man. You can't fault him that.
I guess.
Chasing Amy is the best Kevin Smith movie.
I'll buy that for $1. I'll buy that for $1.
I'm with you.
I think Dogma was up there for me.
Of anything he made.
Yeah,
you're a tracer. You're a fucking tracer.
No, I think that Chasing Amy was probably his best script. Honestly, I would say that's one of the best scripts that he's written.
First of all, hold on. I just want to point out I hardly ever. I'm not used to Brad swearing on the Scare of Scuttlebutt podcast, and when he's just said "fuck," it was just like what?
You know, and here I am.
I told you how much I censor myself on that show, bro. We're not on that show,
and it's your second beer. I notice.
And
here I am. Kool-Aid. Here I am watching my language for the past hour 40.
There's 5 people watching us. It doesn't matter.
I know.
Kevin, we can be creative right now. We can be creative right now. We don't have to do any fan service right now. There's only 5 people.
But I mean, anyone who's listened to my show knows that like every other word is just expletive garbage. That's all I've got, and I'm trying to hold it together. And here goes Brad slipping up. At least it wasn't me. That's all I'm going to say.
Dude, I love. No, I mean, I laugh when you go from that scene to him talking about Lando Calrissian, how he's a proud black man, and how Darth Vader's the beautiful black man, and he takes off his mask and he's a white man underneath.
We all want to be white.
Yeah. What's a Nubian? Man. Yeah. I mean that shit has me crying every single time.
Yeah, I mean. Dude, I mean, it's like I said, the guy knows how to write. The dude knows how to write. Like, I mean, like the dialogue from Clerks, if you just get past the way it's shot, because it's a little rough around the edges, certainly. But when you get down to the dialogue of it, it's just like it when I was young, it made so much sense because I was like, wait, that's how my friends and I talk. Like, that's how we talk. That's us, you know, and it's really rare to find a movie like that actually puts you on the screen in a way, you know. I can't really think of any other movies that have been able to capture that for me personally.
That's why representation matters.
Why'd you put me next to the respectable people? I can't curse up here. You got to put me down in the corner.
Yeah, come on down here, Brad.
Thank you.
Now, 2
years
ago,
curse now.
We got to go to the Quick Stop, and then we went to the Secret Stash. Like, we got to do that whole New Jersey trip, and it was amazing.
It was awesome.
It was like going to Mecca.
And then you go into the Quick Stop, and nothing has changed. It's still just like they filmed the movie there.
Oh, and I went to do the milkmaid shit in the back, and somebody walked out of the back room and was like, "Can I help you?" Nope, I'm good.
Yeah. I mean, I would love to go to the Quick Stop, but that would mean I'd have to go to New Jersey, and no.
It's too cold up there.
Yeah, too cold, and I'm assuming it has a very particular smell.
Yeah, David Peoples in the chat. Yeah, his people forget or don't. A lot of people don't know about Kevin Smith and his comic book writing. He did Daredevil. He did Green Arrow. He did stint in Batman. I mean, when Kevin's talking about his writing, the dude can write, and the number one thing is passion for the characters. And when his stupid looks aside and everything else, you can tell that he has a true passion for these characters and a true understanding of these characters, and it just bleeds through on the pages. And the
His
same thing
Batman
for the movies.
was amazing.
Is that science fictionary, David Peoples?
It is.
Awesome.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like the dude has lived such a storied life. I mean, for Christ, like he's done comics, he's done film, he's done television. I mean, like this guy's got his hands in everything. And then the fact that he's the way he conducts himself, I have to give him such credit for, because he doesn't strike me as the kind of guy that acts like he's done that much.
He's got a Legos video game character.
Yeah, none of us got that. I
Goals.
don't
He's
even have a
also got
Lego
Funko
video
Pop.
game.
You gotta get the Funko Pop too.
I have it.
That's Funko Pop. Hell yeah.
We'll get one for Ro.
Yes, let's all send him a different Kevin Smith Funko Pop.
I'll give the characters like this.
Yes, and let's get him signed. Let's get him signed too. We'll really make it sting.
Yeah.
We don't talk about Affleck's Daredevil. That Daredevil didn't.
Yeah.
You guys all really hate Affleck's Daredevil?
Okay,
That was
so
horrible.
yeah, I have a weird relationship with a lot of those older comic book films.
Like
Oh, God, here we go,
Spawn,
Kev.
like Spawn.
Yeah, a Brave movie. Are you going to call Daredevil a Brave movie?
No. What I'm going to say is, like, because I have to be in the right frame of mind to watch them, because I'm so accustomed to the quality of things now and the care that's paid, the attention that's paid to crafting the story, that those older movies, like, I kind of have to be in the right mindset. Like, if I want to watch the original X-Men movies, I have to go in there kind of understanding, like, okay, it's X-Men, but is it X-Men? But it's X-Men, but is it? But it is, or like, even like the Joel Schumacher Batman movies. Like, I have to literally look at those films like, okay, view it through the lens you would the 1960s television series. If I can view it through that lens, I'm gonna have an A-OK time. If I try to view it the same way I would view the Dark Knight trilogy, it's like, everybody chill, really?
Yeah, right.
And I love Arnold, but
Nice to see you.
yeah, like, and I love Schwarzenegger. And when I was a kid, I was like, Schwarzenegger's going to be in a Batman movie, yeah, But it's one of those things. Like, I appreciate those comic book movies for what they did, for kind of inching the door open. I really think that the most pivotal movie that did that was probably Blade. I think Blade was really the thing that showed that you can take a comic book property and do something interesting with it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and even like the 2000 Spider-Man films, like, they're really good, but they're just not the same as what we're getting now. They're good, but they're different.
Yeah.
Jennifer Garner as Elektra.
That's the worst thing that the Ben Affleck Daredevil gave us, was that Elektra movie.
Right.
Yeah.
The Elektra movie was rough.
I got stuck watching that on an airplane.
Oh God,
man!
You didn't open the door. I gotta go, guys.
Yeah. I'll take the 30,000 foot drop, thanks. Yeah. No, and it's just one of those things where, like, those films had to lay the foundation so everything else could be built on top of it. So to that end, like, I don't want to trash them too hard, because I think that's kind of in vogue too, is just to, like, really lean in on them, because it's just not what we get now. But but I'll agree with you. Daredevil was rough. That was hard.
Daredevil's okay. And it's not like the 1980s Captain America or anything.
Oh, yeah.
The stuff that we were getting in the 70s and 80s. I don't know how old you guys are, but I'm 41, so I'm old enough that I saw some of the stuff that was coming out super early. but not too young to have missed it.
Yeah.
Those like the Red Skull and all that at the time, like just fucking horrible. Like
those are the best, man. I love those.
Captain America's
Yeah,
motorcycle.
the Captain America, his motorcycle helmet with the A and the little wings.
Yes,
and
like
yeah.
Oh,
and then the Hulk and Thor.
Oh,
Thor!
geez,
Remember Thor?
Yes, with the wings.
Yeah, that was the best.
Yeah, not great. I mean, like, but you know what was really good back in the '90s, and when I was a kid in the '90s. Was the animated shows. I mean, the animated shows were amazing. You had Batman the animated series, which was top to bottom perfect. Nobody gives Spider-Man the animated series the love it deserves.
On Saturday morning?
Yes. Which one though?
The '90s one.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah,
He's
talking
about the Saturday morning cartoon.
Yes.
It came on after X-Men. You had X-Men at 10 o'clock and then Spider-Man at 10:30.
Yeah,
that was your hour right there.
Yes. Last the cartoon.
Yeah, like those two Marvel series, the X-Men and Spider-Man, they don't get enough I think X-Men gets plenty of credit because it deserves it, but I think Spider-Man doesn't get enough credit because in that they only did one really long season, and in that season they did Secret Wars, you got the symbiote stories, you got Carnage. I mean, they threw everything in that series.
Sinister Six.
Yes, yes, you even had the Avengers show up. You had Captain America show up. You know, they went for it. Like they went for it. And that was kind of like our golden age at that point when we were kids, because you weren't getting a whole lot of those in film, but you were getting plenty of it at Saturday morning.
Yep.
And then Kev got addicted to Captain Planet, and it was all downhill from there. And that
I was not a Captain Planet kid. I was not a Captain Planet kid. I was a Power Ranger kid. Thank you very much. I was throwing roundhouses and stuff.
That's a whole thing completely lost on me. I'm more like Ultraman.
Oh, Ultraman. I love that. Ultraman and Space Giants. Remember that?
No.
Okay, I'm old.
I don't think you're any older than I am, Ro, but I definitely understand what you're talking about. That, like, those old Ultraman shows were essentially what paved the road for Power Ranger.
Yeah. I mean,
it's a blatant rip-off of the concept.
Oh, of course. I mean, and everything is going to be derivative of something. I mean, especially like when they were taking so much of the stuff from Japan. I mean,
yeah.
But that was kind of the cool thing about growing up during that time. If you grew up in the 80s or the 90s, you kind of had a very special window into nerddom, because that was when it was really starting to break into the mainstream consciousness. It was less kind of this fringe thing that it might have been maybe in the 70s and 60s. You know, people were kind of maybe different about reading comics. It was a little bit more mainstream. Now, you still got bullied for it if you had the temerity to wear
admit it. Right.
Yeah, to wear a Spider-Man t-shirt to school. I mean, that was you had a target on your back at that point. You know, it's probably a lot more accepted among the younger circles now than it probably was. I mean, I remember people giving me shit when I was in first grade for watching Power Rangers. You know, you watched that? I'm like, yeah, and you know,
in first grade,
and that's when you got punched in the face, right?
No, yeah, probably. I am no good in a fight. I'll tell you right now. But the only defense I have is the turtle defense.
Tim says Matrix totally steals from many Japan sources. I don't know if they steal. It's the Wachowskis brothers at that time that were paying homage to the Japanese material. Yeah. So it's not really a steal. I think it's an acknowledgement of the greatness of what those shows were that they brought into the Matrix films, which I love.
Yeah. I mean, dude, the Matrix films are awesome. I mean, they're definitely one of those properties that when it hit, like, you knew, okay, this is something kind of original. I took issue with the machines taking over. I'm like, no, Jim Cameron already did that there, pal.
Right, yeah.
But that aside, you know, the way it was executed was so different and clever. And maybe the sequels get a bit of they get a bit of crap, but I mean, they were just trying to fill in so much stuff. They were trying to pack everything in. But it's one of those things, like that's a great example of a trilogy of movies that is now being built upon because of a kind of an original idea. I liked it.
Yeah, I don't remember. The third one is the one that I don't remember too much, but yeah, those are some really groundbreaking films.
Yeah.
Am I the only one that only watches the first one? I mean, yeah, it's a trilogy. I only watched the first one.
I only
could care
rewatched the
less
first
about
one.
3.
Yeah, I mean that's obviously the best one.
Clearly.
But you know, the fact that you know they're from Chicago, and some of those chase sequences were shot on an expressway near my house was pretty cool. And the production studio is right down the street from my production studio, which I always want to go in there and kind of sneak in and see what they're doing. I know they did a couple of different things there too, besides Sense8 when they were doing that. So really cool.
Nice. Break in there anyway. Just steal some stuff.
Absolutely. So, any final nerd thoughts before we let everybody go? What do you guys got?
Andrew, you've been suspiciously quiet.
Not too much. I mean, we haven't been watching too much right now, and I'm excited about all the stuff that's coming down the pipe with Marvel and Star Wars on Disney Plus, and I think once they get that machine really cranked up, I think we're just going to have content almost continuously.
Yeah, looking forward to that.
Hell yeah. I'd like to say I'm just stoked we all got together to chit chat.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I'm just stoked on that. Like this is the stuff that kind of makes it all worth it. Just being able to hang out with like-minded people and literally talk about nothing. I mean, this is all bullshit we're talking about, but we're having a damn good time doing it. I wouldn't trade it for anything. So there's my final thoughts.
And I'm really happy that you made your bed.
That is actually my 14-year-old nephew's bed that we discussed earlier. No black lights allowed. That's his space.
We'll wait for Trevor Beast 454 to come by one time and see if he's made his bed.
I definitely want to say on behalf of the Escape Pod, thanks for welcoming us into the Red Fives. I mean,
yeah,
it's nice to have a new home. We were somewhere else. I won't disparage anybody else, but this is a completely different environment. This seems like a place where we can thrive, and where we were before was a one-sided relationship.
Well, that's good to hear. I'm really happy that you guys feel that you fit in. You know, we have that Red5 family hashtag for a reason, and I'm glad that everybody that has utilized that hashtag is feeling that. So thank you very much for that.
Yeah, we are the weirdos, mister.
Yeah, I mean, I like that hashtag, but I also like hearing earlier, you know, welcome to the family. It's got a real nice mafia sound to it. So that makes it sound that much cooler. That you're all being welcome to the family. And Ro accused me, I think, earlier this week of sounding like Rose Tico or something on Twitter. So I'll sound like you said. I paraphrased Rose Tico in one of your tweets.
Right.
So you know, I'll echo what Kev was saying. Hey, don't forget about what we love, and that's this geek shit that we're talking about right now. This is the Clerks conversations that we were talking about earlier. We're talking about how many civilians died on Death Star 2. And why that matters, and why the rebels cause so much economic destruction in the galaxy. And that's the kind of crap that we're talking about right now, because that's the shit that matters. So don't worry about all that politics and bullshit. Keep talking about what's fun and what actually matters in life. And that's nerd shit.
Right.
Hell yeah. Hard agree.
Excellent. Did we miss anybody?
Big Love, and you got anything to say?
No, I co-signed what you said, man. That's good enough for me.
There you go.
Awesome. All right. Well, everybody in the chat, thank you very much for hanging out with us for almost 2 hours, talking geek stuff. It was a lot of fun. Thank you very much. Until the next time we have another Red 5, we're going to get some more people out here and make sure that we don't run out of adult beverages here, because we can probably go on for another 2 hours. But on behalf of Brad and myself and the rest of the Red 5 network folks, I just want to say, keep it real and keep it red. Talk to you guys later.